You know that feeling when you send out 10, 15, 20 applications and you're just watching your inbox and nothing's coming back? And you're a parent, so it's not just about you. It's about pickup, groceries, mortgage, bad time, and all that is running through your head at 2 a.m. while you're wondering what is wrong with your resume. But here's the thing. Your resume is not the problem. The problem is that every other person who applied for this job is also using AI. Same phrasing, same structure, same polished nothing. Hiring managers can feel it now. The applications getting callbacks, they're using AI in a completely different way. Not to write for them, to help them think. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Hi, I'm Suzy, and I simplify AI for real life. Okay, so let's talk about what most people are actually doing wrong. Most people use AI for job searching like this. Paste their resume in, say make it better, and then send whatever comes out. Or paste the job description, ask for a cover letter, and then send it. And it reads like it. Not because AI writes badly, but because AI doesn't know you. It doesn't know the project that you work on that you're still proud of. It doesn't know the specific thing you navigated in your last job that only you could have handled it that way. When you ask AI to produce your application, what comes back is a polished version of generic. And generic disappears. The real use of AI for job search is not the output. It is thinking. You bring your experience, AI helps you surface it, shape it, and say it in a way that actually lands. And everything I'm about to show you, it's built on this one shift. So let's start with the resume, because this is where people spend the most time and get the worst results. Every job description is telling you something underneath the surface. Not just the requirements. The language itself tells you how the company thinks, what it's looking for, what they value, what kind of person they have in mind. Most people read the job posting once, check if they qualify, and then just write a general application and send it. But that doesn't work. And it shows. Here's what actually works instead. Paste the full job description into AI. Nothing else yet. And ask, what are the 3 to 5 things this company actually cares about? Not the obvious requirements. The underlying values. What problem are they trying to solve with this new hire? That response changes how you see the role before you write a single word. I'm serious. It's one of those moments that you read it back and thinks, oh, okay, I was about to completely miss the point. Then bring in your experience, not a formatted resume. Just talk through everything that you have actually done. Real projects, real moments, real outcomes. And if you've been out of the workforce for any period of time, I see you moms. This is where something specific happens. The professional vocabulary gets foggy. You know you did the work, but the names of things, the proper titles for what you were responsible for every single day, they fade. You describe a project and the word for it just isn't there. And this is exactly where AI can help you a lot. Just describe what you remember doing and ask AI to help you find the right language for that. And it will come back with things like, what you're describing sounds like cross-functional stakeholder management. Or that's a change management process. You did it. You just need the words back on the surface. And yes, I absolutely needed this more than once. Then ask, given what this company is looking for, what are the most important things to highlight from my experience? And one more step before you send it. Paste your resume and the job description side by side and ask, if you were the hiring manager, what will make you hesitate before scheduling an interview with this person? The feedback is uncomfortable, but it's so much better than just sending your application and then spend weeks wondering what happened. And you're probably thinking,
isn't that just dressing up my experience to sound like more than it really is?
No! You're finding it what's already there and saying it clearly. You're not inventing experience that doesn't exist. You're learning to clearly describe the experience that does. And those are completely different things. The cover letter now. Fast, because this is the part that either most people skip or completely phone in. Don't ask AI to write your cover letter. Have a conversation first. Tell it why you're actually interested in this role. The real reason, not the professional version one. Tell it what drew you into this company. Tell it what you would say to a friend over coffee if he asked. Then ask AI to help you shape that into something concise and clear. Done. You just wrote your cover letter. In a conversation, you needed the structure pulled out of it. That's all. And before you even walk into the interview, there's a step most people skip. It takes 20 minutes and it changes everything about how you show up. Before any interview, give AI everything you can find about the company. Their website, recent announcements, anything notable about where they are right now. And ask, based on what you know about this company, what are the biggest challenges or priorities they are dealing with right now? Then, after reading the answer, ask, what questions could I ask in the interview that would show that I genuinely thought about their situation? This does two things. It walks you into a room already thinking about the company's situations, not only your rehearsed answers. And it gives you the questions for the end of the interview, which is one of the most underused moments. The "do you have any questions for us" part is not just a formality, it's your last impression. Walking in with specific, thoughtful questions is what makes a hiring manager think, this person did their homework. Now, the interview itself. This is where the biggest gap is between someone who walks in confident and the people who are just hoping for the best. Most people prep like this. Find a list of common interview questions, write out answers, and practice in their head. Then the question comes out differently and they scramble. The problem isn't how much you prepped, it's that you prepped for a generic interview instead of the specific conversation this company wants to have with you. Do this instead. Paste the job description into AI. Describe the company and ask, if you were the hiring manager for this role, what would your top concerns be for a candidate? What are you actually trying to assess underneath the standard questions? That tells you what the interview really is about, underneath the words. For example, a company in rapid growth wants to know if you can handle pressure, if you can figure things out without being told. A company that's had turnover on that specific role wants to know if you will stay. And when you know what they're trying to figure out, you prepare for that. Not 40 generic questions that may or may not come up. Then practice your answers and ask for real feedback. Not, does this sound good? Ask, does this actually answer what they're trying to figure out? What's missing? That loop is what turns decent prep into real confidence. Not because you memorized the script, but because you tested whether your story actually lands. Some people worry,
If I prep this much, will I sound rehearsed?
no, rehearse sound rehearsed when you've memorized words. Confidence sounds natural. You're still the one in the room. AI only helped you find the right shape for the things you did. That's just preparation. And then there's what comes after the interview, which almost everyone either rushes or skipped, and it matters more than people think. The thank you email after the interview is not a formality. It's one more impression. The mistake?
Thank you so much for your time. I really enjoy our conversation.
That email is in every hiring manager's inbox. It means nothing. What actually lands is mentioning one specific thing from the actual conversation, something they said that you're still thinking about. After the interview, describe the interview to AI. What was covered, what you stood out, anything you would address differently. And ask it to help you write something warm, specific, and short so they can actually finish reading it. 10 minutes, one more impression. Don't skip it. And then there are the rejections. Nobody talks about what to actually do with them mentally. So I want to spend a minute on it. After having so many rejections, I'm an expert. After a rejections that sting, describe the situation to AI and ask, what are some reasons a company might go with a different candidate that are not related to qualifications? The list is always long. Internal candidate who already know the team. Budget change after the final rounds. The role was restructured before anyone started. The other person had a very specific certification that wasn't on the listing, or even the hiring manager that left mid-process. None of those things have anything to do with you. And most of the time, you'll never know which one was true. This doesn't stop rejection from hurting, but it breaks the spiral. And when you're in a job search that goes on for months, breaking that spiral is how you stay functional to keep going. And if you haven't watched the video I made about whether AI will actually take your job or not, I would put that on right after this. It's a different conversation, but it connects directly to what we just talked about. Click here to watch it. And if you feel your brain is full with all this job searching, I have something for you. It's called a mental clarity guide, and it has a few prompts to help you unwind your brain. Comment clarity and I'll send you the link. Save this so you can come back before your next application or interview. And if you know someone who is in a job search right now, send this to them. They'll thank you later. Real AI for real life every week. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you next week.